Thank you for letting
Give you
me
the warning.
know. That's right.
Don't share anything you wouldn't want the entire internet to know.
I know. I forgot that last time. It's like, well, it just seems like we're all in just this little room.
It does, but there's like 1,000 people watching. So
It was okay. I don't
it's
think.
all good.
I don't think it was. Yeah. I don't think it was a disaster. No.
All right, everybody, we can hear us, so that's good. I should probably post this like to social media.
Yeah.
You
So
can
how's
join
the book?
the Zoom. The book is good. I'm officially at a point where there's nothing I can do while we're live tonight, um, which is good. It means that everything is in a really good spot.
Yay!
Um, so we're good.
Yay! Yay! So you got to send me a link for when it gets. When will it get
It's
published?
gonna be a while. It won't be until hello. I know you said how to say your name, but now I can't remember. Melina. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that I think that is how I say your name. Let me know if I'm wrong. Um, but yeah, it won't be out until March. It's a long process from here to actually getting it printed and shipped and all that good stuff.
Fixing to be a huge weight off of your shoulders for a little bit, huh?
Oh yeah. I
Just
mean, there's still work to do on my end. Like I filmed essentially like 4 months worth of video tutorials
yeah.
in the process. And so I don't know. Apparently Chantel can't get on. Let me try this again. Um, so I'll have to edit all those and get them live, and I'll need to talk with my publicity people to see if they want that before it goes live or not to like drum up interest in the book and pre-orders because I guess pre-orders are really big in like how you rank when you come out.
Right.
So why is that like not working for Chantel? You got on through the link, right?
Yeah, I clicked the one that said September 6th, and then I went in, and then, yeah, I went down and clicked into the Zoom on that one.
Let me see the video description.
And then I always, for some reason, I always have to join, like it'll say launch, and it never does anything. And then it says join through your browser. And then when I click it, then there you are. It's like, I don't know why it does that. And I have a Zoom account myself that I have meetings, like
Interesting.
that I host and stuff. Is like,
Yeah.
but that's just how I always joined, was through my browser. I don't know why it has
Well,
to.
obviously you got in,
Yes.
but it is not working for Chantel right now. She's having technical difficulties. Oh, wait. I think I just saw her. There we are. Chantel is in the building.
Yeah. Woohoo.
Let's see. We've got people here today from South Dakota. We got Betty joining us there. We got Julie in Houston. And who else we have? We have Joyce from Wyoming. We got folks all over the place. It's interesting. We have all of our central people and our um
Like Central Time Zone.
Western, yeah, Central and Western Mountain Standard. So this must be like too late for Eastern and too early for Pacific.
Western.
Well, Mountain Standard Time. I don't know why I said Western. It's west of me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot west
I
of me
thought I
and
admitted
in the
Chantel.
middle.
Why is she
In the
not
middle.
here? There she is.
Hello.
You are sideways.
You are sideways too.
Ooh, and we have Moline, which is the sister city to my Rock Island. We've got Thatcher, Arizona. Hi, Debbie. And Seattle. So we got people all over.
Sorry about the
Chantel,
technical difficulties there. My tablet did not want to accept it, and then the third link, nice moo by the way.
I know I have a new one. $14.99 at Walmart.
It looks like it cost at least $15.99. You got a good deal.
It was, it was a good deal there.
Oh my gosh.
My husband bought it for me.
Even better.
I know, right? There were discussions.
I actually have clothes on.
Oh,
That is
fancy.
amazing. We got another Iowa.
Trying to get set up here. I had it all set up for my tablet, and then of course that wasn't going to work. So
You had to go elsewhere.
yeah, whatever.
Oh, goodness.
Your moo
So,
matches my sewing tonight.
does it? I mean, it is pink. I saw it and I thought of you, honestly. I had asked for another short sleeve one because it's still going to be in the 80s like all week.
Yo, what's up with
And
that?
I know, I want to wear my cute fall clothes. Like I had a whole thing planned today and there was
You
no
can.
possible way I could wear
In
it.
the middle of the night.
I know, I will be dying of my am I in perimenopause or not
Oh my God.
suspended state right now. And I don't know. It's not pleasant.
It's not.
I guess what will truly tell is if I still am getting these like weird hot moments when the
In the
weather
middle of
finally
winter.
cools. Yeah, if I have it then yes, this is a thing. And if not, it's just hot.
That's
It
just
will
what
be
it is.
weird. It will be
Yeah.
devastating. Like I almost had to leave my job because I was waking up sopping wet 3 and 4 times a night, burning up like 15 times a night. And it's like, I'm not getting any sleep. How am I going
Oh
to go
my
to work?
gosh.
Right?
I'm pretty
Okay,
sure
well, maybe-
I've already had the best nights of my sleep some time ago, and I'm never gonna have that again.
When we were, well, no, you woke up a lot when we were on our cruise.
I was
slept
up in the middle of the
really
night hand
well,
sewing.
really well on that cruise.
The
As you
boat like
probably
lulled you
know
to
from
sleep.
watching
I fell
me.
asleep fine.
I know, it was like being rocked to sleep every single night.
Oh, I miss
It's
that.
fabulous.
And the sandwiches.
And it was sandwiches before bed. I gotta make
Sandwiches
some
and
actual bread.
sleep. It was great.
You and I need to like have another slumber party where your children are at the whole
We
night
need to
at your
make some
in-laws.
fresh bread.
Yes, we'll make some fresh bread and we'll make ourselves some sandwiches, but your children need to be shipped to the in-laws because then if John
They
decides
need to be shipped
to
somewhere.
hang out with his brother,
Yeah,
then
right.
we can still have Chantel and Stephanie time and not let's run around after
Let's
all
just
of
go
our
on
children
another
time.
cruise.
Debbie Wurs. I feel like this is a name I know, but we're gonna be extra vigilant. And Debbie, we're gonna ask you some questions that you have to answer on YouTube. This question is only for Debbie to answer in the YouTube comment section. Nobody else, just Debbie.
You can answer it in your head, friends, but you cannot answer it for Debbie in the comments.
Because this is to prove that Debbie is in fact a quilter and not some spammy person that we don't really want on the chat.
No inappropriate use of quilts.
Yes. What amount of fabric do you purchase when you're not sure what you want to do with it?
This is up to.
This is a highly subjective question. So,
like, are you Stephanie or are you Chantel?
So let's make this a two-part question. I want to know, like, what is the amount you get, and why? Why do you want to have that amount?
Then the why is actually really the answer.
Truly.
Stupid needles.
We got people from Alabama, New Mexico. Eleanor wrote she went from sexy nightgowns to cotton gowns, cotton quilts, no polyester or synthetics. So this must be when you hit the perimenopause. This is what you
gotta
have to
air
do.
out.
There are cooling pajamas. I used to be on like an affiliate ad for some cooling pajamas.
Yeah, they're still sending me baby stuff. I'm like, I'm done with that. Like, send me the cooling pajama
so done
ads.
with that.
I don't want any more children. Nice try, but I'm done.
I know. We had a conversation about this earlier today, actually, as we were both running errands to keep our households running.
You need to tip the scale far to the other side, friend.
Ooh, we have Tasmania, Australia. It's snowy and rainy for spring.
That's kind of nice. I mean, I would be excited for that.
After looking at the temperature and seeing it's going to be 80 all next week, and I just want to wear my fall stuff, yes, that would be fantastic.
You're going to have to get more moo-moos to get through the season.
I know, right? Well, my husband, when he picked this one out, he's like, I thought it's gonna be fall and, sleeves might not be a bad thing. And, and I'm like, thank you,
Oh,
dear. It's very thoughtful. Right now, I'm still hot AF.
when I was on my trip, I actually wore pajamas, but usually I'm so exhausted I fall asleep in my clothes.
This is accurate. She will sleep in a really nice sweater and leggings, and I'm just like,
I'll
I
just
don't know
pass out.
how
Like I
you
didn't
like
even bring any jammies.
my children will do this better than me. Oh my gosh. So I have this like threadbare nightgown that is like fine for Chantel, who I've known for like
It's
20
fine
years.
for me.
But
It's
then
only the
Ray and
best for
John
me.
came to the room one night, and it was the night that I had ended up in the infirmary because I had this wickedly like gross spider bite
Spider
that looked like
bite.
I was going to become the next Peter
God, I
Parker.
forgot about that.
And they're like, come on out, come out. I'm like, I cannot come to the door. You are going to see all the
These
things.
men.
And they're like, we
Here.
don't care. And I'm like, that doesn't mean you need to see it. Like, this is a whole different level. But they're funny.
Yeah, well,
They're
it
right.
wasn't going to happen. Something like that's not going to happen when you got
See,
your brand new nice one on, right?
that's why I sleep
No.
in my clothes, apparently, because I just. To be
No.
fair, most of my
Speaking,
clothes are leggings and t-shirts,
Well,
but
that's comfy though. That's comfortable
yeah,
sleeping.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
this is
My
why I
baseline
now
clothes
have
are
these.
like that.
But anyway, as I suppose I should mention, since we talked about the cruise, that
Mm.
if you book the Alaska cruise, which is July of next year, we're going to go to Alaska. We are going from Vancouver through the Inside Passage, so it shouldn't be so bad sea-wise. And apparently July is the best month to go on an Alaskan cruise because the weather's the best. Um, and then we're going to have shop hops hopefully in Vancouver and Juneau, and hopefully a special textile exhibit. We're still working on finalizing that. And we're going around the Hubbard Glacier. It's going to be a blast. And we're going to have multiple sea days because Alaska is interesting in that you'll be like in port for like half the day at a couple of them. So we'll be able to do like some sewing and then go on to port and go
So
enjoy the rest of your
is this
afternoon.
an invite?
It is an invite. If you guys want to come, I'm teaching. We're going to do a 60-degree triangle masterclass. And if you book if you book and pay a deposit, which is a small deposit, by the 15th, then you get $100 off per
15th
person
of this month?
this month. So within the next 2 days.
Oh, well, I'd have to hurry up and look at schedules and how much
You know what?
it cost.
They are going to, I think, probably extend that because I'm supposed to be doing a live Zoom Q&A about it. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so you know when that's going to happen because I haven't actually planned it because I'm trying to finish my book first. But anyone who's on that can also get it. So if you don't have to do it in the next 48 hours, and they won't reply to emails on the weekends anyway. So I'm sure they'll give it to you if it's next week. But let me find
And what's the cruise
the
line?
link. It is Celebrity, which is fabulous.
So good.
We had such a good time with them.
And so good.
Like the spa takes up like half of one floor. It's so fun.
It was great.
It was really awesome. All right, so I am putting in the chat on YouTube the link to where you can find out more about the cruise on my website. If you click on any of the buttons, it will take you to an interactive PDF where you can fill out information to get more info. It doesn't commit you to going. It just lets Ray and John know you're interested. So cruises are fabulous. This is like a bucket list cruise. And we get to have a retreat while we're there. My kids are coming. And hopefully
not everybody that goes on the
husband
cruise
too.
has to do the retreat. So like
they do not. So like your husband can
basically
come.
you go to your class or whatever, they enjoy the amenities on the ship. You meet up later for dinner. It's all good. I didn't quite understand that my first time, that it was like, oh, we can all have separate activities. Like it's not set in stone for you.
Like stuff throughout the day. So much stuff you can do. Like you could just sit and do nothing by the pool, or there's different like activities you can do around the ship. Like tours
I even
and
went
stuff.
to an exercise class.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
How did I not know about this?
It was an accident. Yeah, I went to an exercise class.
exercise.
I thought you went to like some sort of meditation thing.
Well, I thought
Did
I
it
did
end up being
too,
an
but I got that day
exercise?
wrong. And so I was in there hand sewing because was it in Eden? And I was in there hand sewing, and then all of a sudden, like everybody just gets up and they're like doing this yoga class, and they're like looking at me like, aren't you gonna get up and like
Do the yoga?
like, oh yeah, clear.
Girl, that could have went so wrong in so many ways if you didn't know what class you were in. Good grief.
It
They
was
have
in a
all kinds of things
bar.
though. Like they'll have like a Catholic mass if you want to go, or things like that.
It's a bar by night, so didn't know I'd be exercising in a bar. I was just
Yeah,
trying to sew
Chantel
in
and
a bar.
I, like when we were exploring that first night, that bar was so fun. There were like plants everywhere, just hanging from every single ceiling that there was. And there were these giant loungers. Like it's basically like a double bed, but like a
Oh,
circle lounger. And so we're just
In a
sitting
bar.
there
In
in
a
a
bar.
bar. And
in a bar.
we're just sitting there on like the upper floor, just, enjoying being there. And then we're like just chilling. We'd take off these big shoes that we wore that we'd never have an opportunity to wear as
The
moms
ones that I
in the
left
Midwest.
behind.
Yeah, those. We're just sitting there drinking and not worrying about the price, because when you travel on these, the drink package is included in the price that they put together.
And
Because I
that'll
know
be
I
the
don't know.
same.
Yeah,
So
I
do
don't know
they
if any
give
of
you
you
a
guys.
discount if you don't drink? Because I don't drink.
So it's the drink package isn't just for booze. You get charged for every
Oh,
single coffee,
so I could
every single Coke that you get, every single soft drink,
right.
smoothies, mocktails. I had a bunch of mocktails by the pool side because I didn't want to be like
I
drunk in the
didn't.
middle of the
I went
day.
for the drinks.
And so basically any beverage up to $10 is covered, including the gratuities.
Nice. Well, that's
Which
a good.
So
means if you got
you
a
just don't have to
$12
worry about
drink,
it.
Yeah.
if you got a $12 drink, you just paid the $2 off the top.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's going to be
And
really fun.
it was really good.
And
I'm very
what's the
jealous.
date? What's the dates?
It is. That's a good question. We are going July 13th through the 20th. So the 13th is in Vancouver, is where we start off from. And then we're going to a bunch of fun destinations. And there is a shop that we're looking at doing, and the whales should be there at that time too. So that'll be really fun. I've seen whales in Hawaii, so it'll be really fun to see the whales in Alaska now. But
I saw
I
whales in
just
Antarctica.
dropped my entire thing. See,
What is-
Chantal, you could see whales in multiple continents.
We saw sharks in Ireland.
We did see sharks in Ireland. I was very excited about the sharks.
You were.
I think you were not prepared for how
I
excited
was not
about
prepared
the
for that.
sharks.
I mean, it was my level of excitement for something. I was not prepared for her to ever elevate to like my baseline, like hyper chihuahua, like shake. And she was there. She was there for
All
the
right.
shakes.
Debbie is on the chat now, so let me mention it here. Let me just chat to her.
Where's my Gwendolyn girl? I didn't hear
Sure.
from her today.
Yeah, I thought about her a while ago. I was like, where's she at?
She's been very busy
messaging
with
Debbie.
that grandbaby.
Was she gonna be gone this week?
She's just been swamped and not sleeping much because she's been helping her daughter a lot with that little one.
Yeah.
And her other, the other one's not that old either. He's only 3. So that's a lot. She's a good grandma.
All right. That is a good grandma.
Is a good grandma.
My mom came out for a while with Angela, but for Lily, I asked if they just take Angela for a little bit because they were out for a ton when I had the baby because the birth was very eventful. And we needed extra help for a little while. And then they just took Angela for like a week because I knew that she needed like some love and attention going from the solo to
Oh yeah, and she was
all of
old
a sudden
enough
being
to
a big
like.
sister. Yeah.
She's
But
old
it
enough
was
to
like the week that like before like everything shut down. Like
Yikes.
I remember like I like went to drop her off and I was kind of wondering if that was the right decision. And I had like my 6-week postpartum checkup on my way back. And it was the first time I had driven because I had a C-section, so you're not supposed to do that. And then um like within the week everything started shutting down and we were wondering like if they were going to be able to drive her back to us. And it was so weird because like when my parents left we like gave them this hug and we like didn't know when we were going to see them again. It was like it was wild, very wild.
I do remember that Easter being like very calm though, because I didn't have to entertain. I didn't have to put up this big fuss or anything. It was like, it was very pleasant. Not that our big family holidays are not great, but I grew up with much more calm holidays.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was, like, that stands in my mind still, how like chill that day was. Couldn't leave the house, couldn't go
You're
anywhere.
able to actually relax instead of
I know.
prepare and
See, I felt the opposite. I felt like I had to make it perfect for every single holiday. Like I had to do all the dishes that normally like the whole family would contribute to.
Well, see, I just didn't cook. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're having chicken nuggets.
I mean,
they're
that's
like
something.
eggs, guys. They're egg-shaped chicken nuggets. It was
I think
easy.
I went all out on that one.
I mean, that's
I
fair, but
remember
I
going
didn't
totally
have to.
all out on Thanksgiving, which wasn't so different because I usually would do all of the Thanksgiving stuff because we were always by ourselves anyway because like we worked retail.
Oh
But
yeah.
so that wasn't bad. But like Christmas was interesting. And I had felt like I had to do all the cookies and all the pies, everything that we would normally eat. I
Right.
felt like I had to do that. And
Well, it's
I
not like
remember
baby
at that
cared.
point, I was so far down the canning and preparation rabbit
You
hole
were?
that I did
I
not have to
remember.
buy a single thing, not one thing, in order to make an entire Christmas dinner with lots of sides and fixies because I had
I'm
everything
counting
in
on
my
you next
pantry,
year. I need you to like
including the
plan your
ham,
food, including the ham.
including the ham. I had a ham just sitting in my freezer, ready to go.
that's awesome.
That
Well,
is
that's
awesome.
not the case now.
Well,
Now I'm
I'm
like,
just saying, that's a good feeling to know that.
yeah,
Well, you're saying not now, but maybe you should now.
I
'Cause
know I should
Well,
know.
I think it's fixing to hit the fan myself. But anyway, be prepared. Be
I
prepared.
mean, yeah,
Be
something is.
prepared. Be ready to take care of your family. And even though it's just my husband and I here, I am trying to add things to stockpile for my kids, right? My adult
Debbie,
kids and their families, because they don't, yeah, they're gonna be like in the dark, like, okay, we're gonna have to help take care of them too, because I don't want them to starve, right?
There
hey
is.
Debbie,
Hi,
make sure to go
Debbie.
ahead and mute us over on
Can you
YouTube
see
because
me?
otherwise you'll get the feedback. I
I
can
can see
see
ya.
you,
Yeah.
but we're hearing an echo. So you want to make sure that you go over to YouTube and mute there so you're just getting your sound through Zoom.
Okay, evidently I'm getting two.
Yeah, go over to YouTube and you don't have to keep the chat open if you don't want to, but just go mute it over at YouTube. Mute the sound there.
Okay.
Yeah, turn it off.
Otherwise you'll hear it because there's a slight delay between Zoom and YouTube.
There we go.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that trip. That'll be fun. But yeah, I need to start. So when I'm not like insane on a book deadline, what I like to do is once a month or so when I have time, do like canned meals in a jar
Yep.
And then
And then do an
I-
extra one for your friend who will gladly
you want an
pay.
extra one?
Still hearing two.
Open
We
up
all
your
want
YouTube.
them.
Open up your YouTube only.
Yes.
Now do you see the little microphone on the video? Or not the microphone, the speaker volume?
Okay, well, I thought I was on YouTube. Hang on.
Yep, go to YouTube. That's where we want you to go. Or actually, it sounds like is there an ad playing or do you have the TV on somewhere?
Yeah, because I hear a guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So volume off
And
on everything.
No shame. We have to do this every single time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In fact, I have this problem every single time.
All right, we have Dawn RRW entering the waiting room. We got to get a quilty question for Dawn. Trying to think of a good one.
Teas make me stronger and more absorbent.
Yeah,
So
it definitely
ordinary-
sounds like you have a TV on there too,
Once your bounty
unless
keeps
that's an
working,
ad.
but-
I'm going to mute you just for a second. When you think you got it figured out, go ahead and come back on, okay? All right, so Dawn, we need a quilting question for Dawn. All right, this question is for Dawn to join the chat. You want to go over to the YouTube chat section and answer over there. What should we ask Dawn? I'm blanking. You have something good?
What size seam do you usually sew with?
Yes. What size seam are most?
Just go with what you usually sew with, and then you can explain why. Sorry, I'm moving around a bunch.
So, Eleanor, you are absolutely welcome to join. Anybody is welcome to join on the Zoom. We just asked that we ask you a quilting question before you get in to make sure that you are in fact a quilter, because not everybody who tries to join the Zoom is, and we've had some spam on there. But that's all. That's all we
That
gotta
and
do.
it settles down a little bit after the first, well, what are we at already?
Oh,
After
I
the
see
first like
Dawn.
45 minutes, it settles down. We fall into a conversation.
Yeah.
It works out.
Alrighty. Dawn. What size seam do you usually sew quilts with?
I miss my Gwendolyn girl. I want to send her a text.
Answer and let you in.
And then let's
All
talk about what we're all working on tonight. I don't think you guys.
Crazy
Not
cat
my
quilt.
book.
Girl,
I'm not working on the book because there's nothing I can do for the book on the chat. So that means I'm in a really good spot.
well,
I have
that
to
is
cut-
good.
I do have to cut some things. All right, Dawn, you answered correctly. We're going to add you in.
I know how cutting goes for you.
Yeah, I don't cut very well live on the internet, and I didn't quite get it done ahead of time. And so I was like, well, I mean, the only thing I could have done was cut and fuse some stuff. So it's not like,
That's fine.
you know, a big deal. So I am
some of these
doing
hexies.
mental health stuff, which is not sewing.
I like mental health stuff.
So this is a kit that I picked up on my anniversary trip to Dubuque. I just wanted something handsy, not handsy like that handsy. I wanted something to do with my hands.
She wanted
while we were
something
sitting
handsy
by
on
the
her
pool.
anniversary trip, guys. That's what she
And
said.
then I also, because I wanted to learn to embroider for a really long time, and I wanted to learn to cross stitch, but I've never been able to do it because there was always so much like work sewing stuff that I had to do, and there wasn't time. And so I picked up two, and I've been working on them. And I love
that's
these
beautiful.
little needle minders for this kind of stuff. It's great because you just kind of put them on there, and then you don't lose your needle. So
that makes sense.
although I will say, if you shove it in your bag, you will lose your needle, and you will be finding it. But that's a thing.
That tracks
for sure. But so I'm learning to embroider.
I learned to embroider probably it was over a year ago. There were some stitches that I already knew that are relatively basic, but the one that kept on bothering me the most was the French knots because
Oh, I like that one.
I couldn't get them just like perfect, and I finally figured out how to do it. They were more like I don't know. They did not look like the perfect little buns.
You have
They're
to
really
not pull them too tight for one
I
thing.
feel like it's like not that different than the quilter's knot. That one I've done before. But
those little French knots were driving me nuts.
the bane
And then
of your
I
existence.
found to keep it was a perfectionist thing, is what it came
You
down
know,
to.
I just accept that it's not going to be great to start with.
My grandmother was a very advanced embroiderer, and she did tons of, I mean, I have tons of napkins, and even some of the quilts, she would embroider them for quilting and
Yeah.
like embroider the hearts out on them. And she did all the embroidery of like the Sunbonnet Sue and
Yeah,
things like
my great
that,
aunt
or like
did
a
that.
woman with her
Yeah.
kittens. And I can look at them; they're right up there. But she did a number of embroidery projects that she was
Yeah,
really
my great
impressive.
aunt did a sunbonnet Sue that had like, you know, the bonnet itself, it had all kinds of little embroidered flowers on it. And
Yes,
the pocket on the dress was embroidered. And maybe the bottom of the dress was embroidered, or maybe something
so
on,
beautiful.
yeah, very detailed.
I mean, what she was able to do was amazing. And then the thing is that she did all these napkins, and you'd look at the front and you'd look at the back, and it was hard to figure out which was. I mean, you could, but like she was so good at tucking her backs and making them look as precise as the
I
front. It was
am
amazing.
not great at that yet,
Yeah,
but I'm working on it.
it's all right. It's all right.
I'm working. I'm trying. I'm
Well,
trying.
it's
I'm learning a new
definitely
skill.
not something that you can just jump in and be an expert at. It does take practice to make
I'm
things
sure.
look really nice, especially just to make it look nice on the front, much less on the back also. So
I
It's
find
like,
I mean, maybe like in a year I'll be like, oh, that looks like shit. But right now I'm pretty happy with the way it's turning out. So
I think
we'll
about
see.
my first EPP stuff I did and how like rough and sad it was. And I don't know, I can't say the moment that I got good, but over time, I can
Yeah.
see such a progression in my work and a speed and an elegance and an ability to like get through it without thinking in the same way. And when I started, I had to think so hard about how far I was going and if the needle was going in the right place. And now it just happens.
Yeah.
yeah, I
That's
started
everything.
last year working with wool,
Oh
and
yeah.
and so those stitches, you know, I wanted them to be the exact amount in
Right.
and the exact amount length, right? And so I drew the little line on my thumb, like for the spacing.
Oh yeah.
And that helped, but you can really tell even on just the one piece that I'm still working on, the difference. You can see where I started and then where I've gone to, right? It looks a lot different. It looks a lot different. It's like, okay, that doesn't look good at all. It's almost like, should I take that out? And it's like, no, because
No.
I was learning, and I'm the only one probably that's ever going to really notice it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people are real critical about, every time they
No.
see you do something, that they look at something and say, oh my gosh, look what look what
And
she
if
did
they
here.
are
Yeah, they're not my
not
friends.
the right people.
No,
They're not my
absolutely not.
friends, and I don't need to listen to them, right? So, but anyway,
You're in good company.
I mean, even in, like I said, even in that same block, because this was a Sue Spargo Imperial Blooms is the name of it, and I need to set aside specific time each month and say, you can only, do handwork. So I'm trying to say, okay, when I'm watching TV, I can only do handwork, right?
That's
Because
a good call.
and it's like if I'm not going to do handwork, I can't watch TV. That's the only way, because I'm not going to get stuff done. I have several projects that are handwork. I've got some red work that I started, and then I had another little I don't know if it was Stitch in Heaven that had it or Stitches of Love had it, but it's embroidery. And it's on this particular kind of fabric that you just press it down over your fabric, and then you stitch, and then when you're done stitching, that washes off, right? That goes away. It's like a printed pattern. And then it also through that has pieced things. There's pieced quilting for this big quilt. So you'll have the embroidery, and then you'll also have pieced blocks and stuff that you make. And I really want to. I really liked it. That's why I bought it, and I need to get with it. But today I'm working on Crazy Kites. It's an Aki quilt pattern.
Oh, which one is it?
Hang on, I'll show you one that's already one of the blocks that's done.
I've set myself up an AccuQuilt station now.
Let's not go on an AccuQuilt.
We don't have to go on a full AccuQuilt thing today.
It's all good.
But
I want to make sure that we hear from our new folks as well today.
From Don and
Debbie and Dawn. Yep.
Bye.
Let's hear from you guys. Well, Donna.
So
that is cool.
Purple. This is the purple one, and they're like 24 inches.
Oh, cool.
I recognize that pattern.
Yeah, there's 9 of them. There's 9 colors. And then let me see, where is I? It's like, oh, I know. I was like, where did my page go?
I'm trying to like cut that apart in my head and understand how that's.
Huh?
Oh, you know how you are when you're a quilter. You're like trying to cut it apart in your head to determine where the blocks are and like what.
Well, here's the one I'm working on right now. So this is the top row. So let me see if I can get that in for you.
Yeah, you got that.
So this does use the corners and the angles and the mix and match. And then there's the middle, which is really the top. This is the top row like that. That's how it will go across the top.
So that was the last so long?
No. I started this 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. They have one similar that was so long.
I'm working on UFOs, but here's the quilt. Here's what the quilt looks, and it'll be like 83 by 83. So it'll get black sashing and some quarter stones. But that's just their pattern. But I have green and purple and orange and pink and lime green and yellow and tan. Did I say orange?
You may have said orange.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm finishing up the green one. It'll be done in just a minute. And then I have 3 more to do, which are the lime green, the orange, and the tan. And then I'll be ready to put it together.
I want to write down that pattern title. What was it?
Crazy Kite, and it's spelled with a K.
Okay. It's
free patterns on Aki Quilt site. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's cool. I just loved it, right? And I don't know why I set it aside and kind of
That'd be a good one for patterns, even to put some patterns in the colored area. And I have a lot of pattern fabric that needs to get used.
Oh yeah, you could really change it up. This is all solids. Yeah.
I was muted. No wonder you couldn't hear me. How many dies does that take to make?
Hang on just a second, and well, now I'm not going to tell you the strip die parts because I personally hardly ever use the strip dies. I prefer to cut those with a stripology ruler, but I can tell you what dies.
Just angles.
Okay, so you're going to have this. This calls for the mix and match cube, shape 1, shape 2, and then from the angles cube, 6-inch, it's shape 14 and 15. And then from the mix and match 12-inch is shape 1, which that's just it ends up being, you'll cut a 6.5-inch square. So you don't have to have all of those, right? That's a square. Also shape.
You end up doing the kites with that one too, though, right?
No.
The 12?
No. The only thing that you use the 12-inch for is that. Oh, hang on. Yes, you do. I'm sorry. It's the 12-inch companion set because you have to have those angles. So these pieces right here, this is the 6-inch, using the 6-inch to make those shapes, right?
And I get it. They're mixing the sizes of the kites.
Here's the 12-inch that you have to have those same shapes. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
So they're using the 12 and the 6-inch cube then.
Yeah.
12 and 6-inch cube. Well, no, it's not the 12-inch cube. It's the 12-inch.
At the angle.
Yeah, you don't
Well,
actually
well-
need the cube set.
Let me correct myself. You would use the 12-inch cube for your 6.5-inch square, but that's the only thing you would use the mix and match for. You would need the 12-inch angles cube
Angles, yeah.
for those kite shapes, the actual kite shapes. So
I
really,
like that pattern.
so it
Sounds
just depends.
confusing.
But really, those are the shapes. On the 6-inch is the 1, 2, and then 14 and 15. So you know by 14 and 15 that's going to be not in the mix and match set, because that only goes 1 through 8. And then
Right.
your 12-inch, you would use shape 1, which is the 6.5-inch square, and then your 12-inch angles, which uses shape 14 and 15. So it's 14 and 15 from both sizes, 6 and 12 of the angles, and then 1 and 2 from your mix and match 6-inch size. And then, and then if you want to use the strip dies or whatever, it's the 2-inch and the 3-inch, which finish at the 1.5-inch and 2.5-inch size.
That's a weird one for them to use. The 2 and the 3. I'm surprised they didn't use the 2.5 because everybody has that one.
No, that's for making the sashing between those blocks. So it finishes at 1.5 and 2.5. Huh. Seemed like. Hang on. What was I thinking?
We got Neko.
Yep. That might be me. I messed it up.
But it's not a lot.
Nope, it's not me.
So you need like 3/4 of a yard of fabric of each of the 9 fabrics. And then you need, for your black, which, I'm using the black, you need 6.5 yards. And then your backing and binding would be like 7 5/8 yards. So it's not I will give you some tips if you want them for making this, where this pattern said, cut so many strips, this wide. It called for like 2, let's just say these bigger pieces.
Like your rough strips?
This green. I think they have you cut them at like 7 or 7.5. They have you cut these strips, right? And they tell you to cut 2 with the fabric strips. I used 1 with the fabric strip and 1 7-inch square. So I wouldn't cut 2 whole strips because I needed a 7.5-inch square off of 1 whole strip, right? Why would you make 2? So, use your head, and I would do the big ones first before I cut any of the smaller strips in this green color, right? Like if I'm doing the green, cut the big kite shapes first. But then, because the way the shapes cut out, you'll have sections you can cut these out of the leftover fabric from your big strips with the fabric. So don't cut 2 of each of those, right? Don't cut 2 of each of those.
Right, it has you overcut.
You will have a section in your 7.5-inch strips.
All right,
you can cut the little ones. Yeah.
I am gonna stop you there so that we can hear what everyone else is working on too.
Sorry.
Dawn, what do you got? You look, you're sewing right now.
I am trimming up my strip sections for my friendship.
Oh, that's pretty.
So I've made some progress. I started on this, quite a while ago. I think I was just
it's been a few weeks.
Those
I remember
a couple months ago. So I made some pretty good progress. I was a little conservative with how many I did initially because I'm not so great at the math when I'm just kind of like doing it,
winging it.
Me either.
Yeah, I'm winging it. So now that I have enough, and there's going to be some sashing in between each row, so I know that it's going to be a good full size ultimately. So right now I'm trimming up all my lays chains. I've did a bunch of chain stitching, so now I'm trimming up. And I do have a question for Stephanie.
Sure.
You mentioned at some point I got the idea that you are a garment sewer as well, of like real adult, like human size, not just the dolls.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I do not as much for me because I have a hard time fitting to my body, but I do a
yeah,
lot for the kids.
I years like 3 decades ago at least. I found this dress. I was out shopping with my mom and I loved it. But at the time, I was like, I don't know, 100 pounds or more heavier and, whatever. But like you say, it's hard to find stuff to fit you no matter what
Yeah,
size you are. But at the time, it's like this dress, and it wasn't like super fancy or anything like that,
you
but
just
it
really liked
just
it.
felt good. And I wore it for a few years until I lost a bunch of weight, and then I went to the thrift store. So anyway, a couple weeks ago, a month or more ago, I was at Kohl's just trying stuff on, and I looked at this dress, and I'm like, oh, this looks similar in the shape.
Hmm.
Um, I hated the fabric, but anyway, I tried it on and I was like, oh, this is the dress. And so it's a certain
Are you
seam
trying to like
line. And
remake it?
I kind of did a little sketch. I don't know if you can
I
see
think
it,
you have to come closer.
but it has curved seams down the
Yes,
front, and it's just a silhouette type. Um, it's just a curvy kind of. Is there a name for this that I can look up instead of going to Joann's and just sitting for hours
that
sifting
seam.
through? Yeah.
What kind
I
of
don't know
fabric
about
is that? Is it a
is
knit?
like a point knit.
The fabric the dress I just recently, yeah, it was a heavy knit.
It's
The
probably a point
fabric,
knit fabric.
it was
Those
the
are good
one
for
from
stuff like that.
years ago was like it was a silkier kind of. Um, it was probably a knit, but I mean, it definitely wasn't like a woven cotton. But for the last few years, I've been saying I wanted to make some summer dresses, and I
Hmm.
love, love, love the Liberty
Liberty
fabrics
lawn.
that I
Oh,
Yeah.
see. Yeah, and so I was gonna try and test it out, in a nice light cotton type whatever. But
So
I was hoping that there might be a name to that kind of pattern that I
that
could
type
kind of
of
zero
seam,
in.
I couldn't really tell you what
Okay,
that's called because it's not like it's a princess seam or something.
right,
Um,
or an A
I
line
would
or
look for color block,
color
um,
block.
color blocking patterns because those are going to be the ones that have different,
like a center and an out.
yeah. They're actually, I keep seeing one right now. I think Simplicity has one where it's not that, but it's like going across the body like this.
Uh,
And it looks very much like a dress that's on Ann Taylor Loft right now that you could buy for a lot of money. But the
No,
biggest
thanks.
thing you need to know when you are doing garments, there's two things really, is one, you have to pay attention to the recommended fabric. Um,
Okay.
and sometimes that's hard because it's terms that we don't necessarily know. Um, or you can find easily at a place like Joann's because there
or we
aren't a
want to
lot of
pay attention
places.
to.
Yeah, there just aren't a lot like that.
So I
We
should just
have,
plan a field trip to sit and just sit through
yeah,
the books, basically.
exactly. You want to take your time.
Okay.
Jan on YouTube says it has French darts, is what that is.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so you might be able to look for a pattern that has that. There's a lot of resources online as well. Style Arc is one that I think is a good one for beginner pattern dressmakers.
Style
They're out of
art.
Australia, and it is worth just paying and waiting for the stuff to arrive rather than trying to print everything out and tape it together at home. That's not
Is
very
it
fun.
style ARC or style ARK?
I think it's just ARC.
ARC. Okay.
And I like what they have you. There's a lot to choose from. Um, but like if something is made for a knit, there's so many different levels of knit, right? Like there's
Yeah.
this knit that is my probably a jersey that my pajamas are made out of. And then there is like a point knit, which is going to be something that a stretchy pant is going to be made out of. It's got a lot more
Yeah,
structure.
this stuff
Yeah.
that I saw the other day, I mean, it reminded me of, you know,
Mm-hmm.
stuff that my mom would, you know, put on me back in it was like
Yeah.
a
Like a
heavy polyester
polyester.
kind of knit.
Yeah.
It was like, ugh. I just,
Yeah.
I wonder
Well,
if the
and that
vintage patterns in your future.
you might find a lot of that if you go to a place like Joann's. There some stuff is decent, but a lot of it is not awesome. And Mood Fabrics is where I order a lot of stuff from, but you have to know
how to
like
use it.
yeah. So like you can order swatches on Mood, which I highly
Oh,
recommend. They'll send you
yeah.
like a little swatch and there'll be a UPC code on it so you know what it is. But and that one you can search by like fabric type, and there's thousands, just
Oh,
thousands and thousands.
They're like the
okay.
place to go for that kind of
It's
stuff.
just mood.com.
Yep. Or it might be
Okay.
moodfabrics.com. It's the
Okay.
store that they use on Project Runway. There's one in New
Mhm.
York and one in LA. Um,
Okay.
but that's like a lot of my garment stash fabric up here comes from there because I can get okay stuff here. I can't get really awesome stuff. Even like I'm within a 3-hour drive of Chicago, and the Vogue fabric store there isn't what it was when I first started doing garment sewing. It's it's just a shadow of it. So you can still get some cool stuff, but you're not going to get like the range that you used to be able to get unless you go to a garment district somewhere.
Looking for
But
any that
like for
complicated.
example, like you want to do like the cotton lawn, you want to do something with that. You literally just want the lightest sundress ever, and you probably are going to want a full body slip underneath it to give it some structure.
And you're probably going to
And
need a zipper or something loose enough with
yeah,
elastic that you can slip it on because lawn
yeah,
just doesn't have any give.
See, that's the thing.
yeah,
The dress I fell in love with, like the way it's cut, you can actually slip it on.
yeah,
And it was a real stretchy fabric. And the stuff that, you know, this other thing, I think it had a zipper in the back.
yeah.
But I'm okay with, I've done zippers. I'm not, you know, super confident with them. I just recently did these, uh, cheaper bags. Anyway, yeah, I
Mhm.
can handle buttons and zippers. I think if I play around with them a little bit.
The other thing
Um,
that you'll want to do, and this sucks because we just want to like get to making the thing, right? Is you have to
I
make what's
know,
called a muslin. And that's where you just take muslin fabric, or it could be like really ugly fabric that you bought at
practice.
$2.99 a yard somewhere. But you want it to be in the same type of fabric that you're using. So like if you're going to use a cotton lawn, you can use just regular, muslin.
Yeah.
But if you're doing like a knit, you want to have a knit that behaves like that knit, because what you want to
Okay.
do is try it on and see where things are working. I'm not sure that we are posting live. Nope, the live stream is still going, but it's not actually showing yet. Oh, here we are. We're all back live on the internet now.
Woohoo!
All right. Hey, somebody comment over there to verify that you can hear us. That'd be great.
Yeah, I can hear
Um,
you.
okay.
You mean
Okay, we're good. That has never happened so far. Knock on
must be like a shooting
big wood.
star or something.
Something, I don't know. Do we have a visitor? This is my Remy.
Oh,
Do you want to come say hello, Remy? Come
Aw,
here. Come here. I know you're not getting all the love that you think that you deserve. I
is that
know.
a poodle?
No, he is just a very curly Cocker Spaniel.
Oh, wow.
see, that's exactly what Domino and Oreo look like. Domino looked like that. He was more black,
Yeah.
and Oreo looked like that. Domino
What a
was more white.
sweetheart.
What are you doing? He was my grandma's dog.
He party
And
cocker.
I told her that he had a home with me for life, and it made her very, very happy. Where do you think
Oh,
you're going?
Remy.
You are not going to climb on that table.
Remy,
I know that you
sir.
think
Oh,
that you
there's the
maybe
eye.
should.
Look at his
Now, does he have
eyes.
brown?
I know.
Does he have
Aw.
brown
He
in his
has a
muzzle?
teeny, teeny bit of brown on his eyebrows and under his ears.
Oh, he might have been mixed with the chocolate. I had a chocolate cocker too. You talk about a pretty dog. Oh my
He's
god.
got
Oh,
such a sweet face.
I've had almost all the colors.
Yeah, I've had a black, a
Flexible.
chocolate, and then I had two party. They were brothers. I bought them as puppies because when I buy a puppy, I try and just get two. That way they play with each other and they don't tend to tear up everything because they're
Oh, I have a
pregnant.
nightmare on that one, but I don't know if I want to go there. But
It
it's
didn't
the
work for you.
same thing.
What are
My
you doing,
mom,
Remy?
What kind of dogs did you buy two of?
well, no, I promised my mom that, if she went before Smidge, I would. They
You would
were
take
they
them.
were just the two of them. They were so tightly bonded. I was the only person on the planet that he would, warm up to, and she could see it. And I'm like, yes, Mom, I'll take care of Smidge if you go before him. Well, he ended up going before her, and she was, you know, getting up there. And then, oh, before I knew it, I mean, she was sad for a little while, but, her remedy was another dog. I'm like, no, Mom, count me out.
Oh my
I'm not.
goodness.
I said,
Yeah.
I will not. And my son had just recently fallen in love, and they were, he put a ring on her
What are you
finger,
doing?
and somehow or another, my mom talked her into agreeing. And I'm like, have a nice life, guys. Next thing I know, she says, oh, but the litter mate, I had to, they can play with each other. They can keep each other
Oh
She got
company.
no.
two? Oh my God.
She got two. And then like 3 months later, she passed away.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah, they found themselves with, newly married and 5 dogs. I'm like,
Oh
Gosh.
my God.
so I don't
No.
even know what happened to them all,
They
but
got they got Remy as a 1-year-old dog when they were already in their 80s after one
yeah,
of their dogs passed. And I knew the second they got that dog that someday he would be living with us. And thankfully they had several more years with him, but I
it's
knew.
all fine if everybody's in agreement. But
Oh,
I
my
told
dad
her,
thought I shouldn't take him. And I was like, there's
uh,
no way I'm not taking him. No
yeah,
way.
yeah.
It's like
Especially if,
might, you might need to be careful because he might come home with you before she passed, huh? Before then.
That didn't happen. He
She couldn't
stayed
take
until
him
the
away
end.
from them.
There's no way. I mean, I think she thought, because I made the offer pretty early on. She had cancer, and it was during COVID. And so I made the offer pretty early on, but I don't think she realized that I meant like forever. I think she thought I meant like for a little while. And
Oh
so
yeah.
when it was getting to be toward the end, I made sure she knew that I meant like forever, forever.
right,
And
right.
she was just so overwhelmed. And then I get a call
Yeah.
from my dad later. He goes, so I heard you told your grandma that you were going to take Remy. And I was like, yep. Yeah.
And that's important. I mean,
Yep.
it's important, but
Yep.
they, um,
He
yeah,
was like her grand dog. Like
yeah.
they
Oh, sure.
and I call him my son, and
Yeah,
I feel close to her every single day because of this dog. But we are
right.
on one heck of a tangent. We need to hear, oh, where'd Dawn go? Dawn was here. I
Oh, you
don't know.
mean,
While we wait for Dawn to come, or you're Dawn, the other
Debbie,
one. Debbie. Sorry,
or
you're
yeah.
Dawn.
Yeah, we got Don and Donna
Lord
and
Almighty.
Debbie.
Got all the D's.
I,
My children broke me today, so I'm like,
Me
my
too.
brain isn't here anymore, and I like have to finish the book by Monday. So, which I will be able to do, no problem. But it's like
Ugh.
I still
Yeah.
have to finish the book by Monday. But
Yeah.
Chantel, what are you working on?
I have been avoiding this English paper piecing project, which is funny because that's usually not what I avoid. But I'm doing the block of the month for the hide and seek quilt project, which is part of Pink Door Fabrics.
Okay.
And it's all Tula, and it's all this very medallion-y. Look at these 10-point stars. They turned out really cool.
oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh,
Gorgeous.
wow.
So they're I got a whole. I like to pin my stuff up as I'm going.
Is that the one that's like really intense?
Yes,
That
which
is,
is why I've been putting it off a bit because it's a lot. For month one, they're doing what I would normally do in maybe 2 months because time realities. It's just a lot. So now all of a sudden my new shipment is coming for month 2 in like 2 days, and I'm like, oh, I just have to finish. I mean, I still have like all of these pieces, and this isn't all of them. I mean, I have so many more pieces to finish. So that's what I'm doing pretty much this entire time.
Yeah.
I did finish up my placemats last week and turn those in. So I will graduate my ruler quilting academy.
There you go.
Yay.
Yay! So that's good. And I started my graffiti quilting masterclass this last week too.
That's fun.
Yes.
Oh, Debbie's back.
Yay!
Oh, Kathy is on as well. Hi, Kathy.
Oh, hello.
All right, Debbie, you're back. Once you get yourself joined with audio, we want you to hear what you're working on. Hello, Candace. We got all the regulars
Hello.
popping on.
It's fun to see. Everybody come
I'm
play with
trying
us.
to, yeah,
Oh, we
There
heard
you
you
are.
for a second.
I'm having trouble with, since the technical difficulty.
That's
Well, I can hear you
fine.
now. I have never had that happen before, so hopefully it won't do it again.
That was weird.
Yeah, I think it probably was a connectivity issue on my end, so we'll see. But let's see, she's got something to show off.
Wait a minute.
Go
You
ahead.
gotta say something when you do it.
Yeah,
So
you have to
thumbs up.
talk and hold it up, and then we can all see. Debbie?
I'm lost here.
Oh, there
Nope,
you are.
you're there. Just talk and hold up your quilt. We can see you.
Can
She
you
must
see
not
me?
hear.
I can see
yes.
you. Yes.
Yay.
So
It
cute.
shows you when you're talking.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that looks like one I've got going. Similar.
Uh,
Similar. That's cool.
That looks really good. How big is
okay.
that going to
This,
be? Oh, yes.
it's, oh, okay. Um, it's been in my closet for about 3 years or so.
Yep.
So that's what I'm working on. It is they're 9-inch blocks. And I'm going to have 30 blocks. So 7 by 10.
Oh, that'll be nice.
That'll be fun.
It's pink and
Cute
blue, or
fabric.
is it all the colors?
Is it going to be really scrappy, or are you
Yes.
just very
Just-
cool?
Green, pink, purple, yellow.
Can you
All the
hold it
same
up a little
pattern.
higher? I want to see the whole block.
Hey, Donna, I am muting you just for a second because your sewing machine keeps taking over the sound, so that way we can see
Oh,
Debbie.
okay. Same fabric, but it's gonna be in blue, pink, yellow, purple, green.
The rainbow. Pastel rainbow. Beautiful.
So is that all from your stash, or did you have like a bundle or kit you were working with?
It was a stash for a while.
It's very pretty.
A quilt store was going out of business, and she had the whole line, and I bought the whole line.
Beautiful.
You must have really liked it.
Wow.
It's very pretty.
I can't wait to
Thank
get
you
it
for
finished
sharing.
now.
Yeah, you got more to work on. All right, Donna, I am unmute. Well, I think you have to unmute yourself. I don't know that I can do it.
There you go.
I'm getting double here. I think I'm gonna have to go delete another.
You just have to mute YouTube, or you could close YouTube and just leave Zoom open, and that'll work out.
Okay.
You
One
had
of
a lot
those
of very
options.
pretties on that one.
Yes,
People
there
like
are a
that
lot of
one.
folks. Julie, or not Julie. Julie said she could hear us. We've got Candace, Susan. They really liked your quilt, and Melina, she liked it too, and Kathy. But yeah.
So if I want to see what people are saying, can I see that, or is that on a separate?
Yeah,
if you have to go onto YouTube for
I
that.
need to
Let
go
me
back to YouTube and then have that muted. Okay.
I'm going to
Mhm.
share my screen just so you can see how I have it set up.
Yeah, because I
Um,
totally closed out YouTube because of the
So
um
this, where did my Zoom
nice.
go? Where did my Zoom go, guys? Hang on, I lost my Zoom.
Aw,
Now you're gonna see
I
all the
know, you get
things
to see the
open on my
babies.
desktop. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite picture of my children ever.
beautiful.
They
Of
were
all times.
happy together at the same time.
They were, because mom
A
was being
moment, huh?
really silly with them. Oh, because it went over on the side. Okay. So because I'm sharing screen, all my Zoom is over here. But normally what I have going on is I have the Zoom screen up and like ending here. So that way I can see all you guys on Zoom because there's like a slight delay. So it bothers me to see it on there. Like you
Yeah,
can see me sharing all my stuff now. But I can see the chat in real time. So that's what I do. So I can keep up with all you guys.
I
I'm gonna
keep up
stop
2
sharing now.
devices. So I have my phone perched on my my
oh,
tablet.
2 separate devices.
Yeah, so I have my tablet in the back and I have my phone set up like literally perched on it so I can see the comments to the side, but I'm watching it on the
Yeah.
phone.
But that's what I do because I have to pay attention to both.
We have to
Right. I did
You
that
guys
last time and
don't,
it was
you
kind of
know.
So I
annoying me.
just went into
So,
Zoom, but I'm not seeing, I'm seeing what I'm seeing on my computer screen.
You're not going to see it on Zoom. You're going to see it on the
No, I
YouTube
meant
chat.
my YouTube channel is up.
Yep.
You have to go
So
to
that's
the
where the chat
live
is.
chat.
It's off to the right of where the video is playing.
Hang on just
So
a second.
I just have the video covered up with the Zoom, basically. And that helps me keep track of what it is that I'm paying attention to.
So when I click on the YouTube on my TV, it is showing the exact same thing that I'm watching on my Zoom on my laptop.
You can't see the comments off to the right?
Nope, it's showing the exact same thing, and it
I think
actually
I had
says,
to click on something for the comments.
is it connecting to my laptop, my TV? Because it's showing Zoom and it's showing live up there.
I don't know. I had
I
to
don't
click
know
on
about
the
that.
live chat area though for it to work.
Mine, I just always see the top chat like on the side. Because I have just the video playing off to the side. And
is that
that's
where
how
you
I
have
do
to
it.
go into more and then live chat?
No,
Yeah.
that is the chat within Zoom, which is
I
slightly
think that's what she wants to see.
Well, I'm
There's
just trying
not
to
a
figure
chat
out
within
why
Zoom.
when I'm on YouTube that it's showing on my TV screen, it's showing Zoom. On the
I
YouTube
don't.
channel, it shows
Well,
Zoom at the bottom. So I'm seeing exactly what I'm seeing here on the
so
Zoom.
probably your TV settings for YouTube are different than
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
what you would see on like a
Computer.
laptop
Yep.
or a tablet.
Yep.
So, because like I actually just did this week. I was putting together
So I just need it on my phone or my tablet.
Yeah.
I
basically.
can't see live chat on my TV. Can only see that on one of my devices.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking that I've never seen live chat.
Well,
on
YouTube is going to show you different things depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
device you're on too.
Yeah.
Because like I had to click on mine, but I'm in the app on a tablet.
Right.
And so it
Yeah.
tries to conserve space whenever possible because it's an app.
That makes sense. Yeah,
See,
people
who
always
else do we
think,
have? For what else is anybody else working on? I think we got everybody.
I think we did get everybody.
Did we?
Anybody in the YouTube chat want to share what you're working on or talk about what you're working on? We'd love to hear about it.
Come over to the dark side with us. Come
Well,
show
you don't
us.
even have to come to the Zoom. You can just talk about it in the chat and we can
That's
share
true.
your story of what you're working on. But I'm so excited about it. I have my last I have 2 projects left for the book, and one of them is super easy. It's just gonna be like a little grocery tote, no lining, no nothing. But I'm doing a quilted tote that fits for a carry-on size, and I'm using one of my Shell Rummel panels that I've loved forever in it. And I'm just so excited about it. And I'm using we actually picked the fabrics on here together one
We
time.
did.
It is like a gray, like textured print from Andover. And it's more of like what you would use for like a garment or something. But I have used it as quilt backing or background, which is why I have it in my stash. But the textures together are going to look really great. And I'm just really excited for how it's turning out and how it's going to look. Oh, we got double again. Is that you, Debbie?
Well, we double. Well, I turned my YouTube on so I see the chat, but I didn't
You
know
have
I
to
was
turn it
still on
down.
You just
You have to
you
mute.
just got to mute that one.
We're
It's
awkward,
okay.
guys.
We talk everybody through this all the time. It's fine.
I
So
have the
Steph-
problem
I know,
every
Mary.
week. Don't worry.
Stephanie,
Yes.
I wanted to thank you. This, I call my mother. I was talking about how she aggravates the snot out of me last time I was on, and about how she pulls sideways on the feed dogs or whatever. And you
Mhm.
mentioned something about a setting for piecing. And
Yeah.
I remember hearing some ladies at the guild say, you got to get everything all the way on the feed dogs or whatever. And
Yeah.
so I sat and I fiddled with that. So now I'm using her exclusively for piecing so that I can have my other machine kind of just set up for free motion and not have to be switching back and
Back
forth.
and forth.
But I got that needle all the way over to the right. Well, I had to send her to the shop for one because somehow or another the timing went wacko. But anyway, thank you. I
You
love,
figured it out?
I'm learning, every time I get together with other quilty people or whatever, I'm always learning something. And I just so appreciate that. So yeah, I put that needle all the way over to the right, and I got my little magnet thing here.
Oh yeah, I
So
like
I
those.
Yeah, I've seen those.
and yeah, so things are a lot more
Quilty tools are great.
They are.
they keep me
We
on
should
track.
how about next week we all bring a quilty tool that we like can't live without.
Ooh,
Oh,
ooh.
Just one. Just one.
I was
And
gonna
you're
say that's
limited.
gonna be hard.
You're limited to 5 minutes on why you love it and why everyone needs to have it. 5 minutes.
Oh, one.
Just one.
Oh, I
We
just
might
bought
have
a
to
new
do it
one,
more
and
than
it's
one
an
Is
week.
this
antique,
going to be a
and
20
I
part
will.
series?
I
Where we're
mean,
allowed to do one a week?
we could share one a week. That would be a cool feature, and then people would learn about all kinds of new stuff. It would be educational content.
It's
All
true.
right.
How's that?
Green
I'm not
one's
gonna.
done.
I'm
The
not gonna
green
Oh,
be
very
here
cool.
next.
done.
Oh,
Oh,
whatever. Just bring a
beautiful.
thing. We'll make that a new feature. What are you working on? What's your favorite tool you can't live
So
without? You got
it's
5
show and
minutes.
tell tool version.
You got
I
5 minutes for your show and tell. You got 5 minutes for your tools. How about that?
my tool weighs a ton.
I
Right?
won't. I won't
Is
be
it
My
here
your
tool
next.
mower?
weighs a ton. Yeah.
It depends on what tool it is.
Yes.
My Accu quilt.
I see another
Oh,
AccuQuilt
yes.
lover. It's just Stephanie's not an AccuQuilt fan.
It's not that. It's that I know I don't have the space to store all the stuff. And
Oh,
like
She's
Yeah.
fast though.
I
She can
don't have
accurately cut so
trouble.
fast.
Yeah, I don't have trouble cutting accurately quickly
Steph
unless
is
I'm
an
live on the
AccuQuilt.
internet. If
I'm
I'm
getting
live on the
better.
internet, can't do it. But
well, I started at my dining room table, moved to my sewing room. It's all full.
Yep.
This particular thing that I just bought last week helps me cut straight, and it's a tip that I learned from a YouTuber. But
well, go
anyway,
ahead and share it now. You might as well. We'll have
okay,
We
our
got
first
time.
segment.
Time
First
is-
segment.
because this is not gonna sit
While
on
you
my
find
table.
it, while you
So
find
this
it, let
this
me
is
just share from Julie that she's working on from a BOM for a $5 program due at the beginning at the store in the morning. Good luck. You might be up late. And then she's focusing on
Oh.
6 quilts for Christmas gifts. So that's gonna be
Oh,
it's gonna be a
oh
lot.
wow.
But
I'm
All right,
avoiding
what's
my
your
Christmas.
tool? What's your tool? Let's see
So
it.
it used to be this, and
Yeah.
it would sit on the end of my ruler, but it's kind of okay. So I'm in this thrift store, and then they got this little antique corner, and a book caught my eye. And then I saw this thing, and I picked it up, and I couldn't believe it. I could hardly pick it up.
Oh,
Is that an
And
antique iron?
it is, and it weighs as much as this, and it's this small. And I've been using it this last week. I need to I need to clean it off. And I'm probably going to put some kind of clear coat down here. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of rusty, but it's not. I mean, it looks ugly, but it really doesn't rub off or
Well,
anything.
it's like rustic, rustic
And
and you can get
it
away with.
fits on my ruler, and it doesn't roll, and I love it. I love how it feels, and yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
So you use
So
it in place of the weight.
yeah.
To
So
keep
it
your
goes on
ruler
the end of
down.
my ruler, so my ruler doesn't wiggle when so
That's smart.
That's a
That is
nice
and
smart.
find.
it's so cool. There's two more of them over there, and yeah, I passed it up the first time I saw it, and I had to make a special trip. It's like I gotta have that thing, and I went and got it,
You're
and I'm
lucky it was
excited.
still there.
I know, right? Well, there was three of them, so yeah, too cool.
Pick me one up and send it to me.
Yeah.
I
How
know,
much is
right?
that shipping?
I
Guys
know.
will have
Well,
to
it was
chat offline.
yeah.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
well, I live in Illinois. Where do you live?
I live in Arizona.
Oh,
Womp.
no, I don't think I'll go that far. But I knew one of you lived
We're in Illinois. Steph and
We're
I
in
not
are.
too
Illinois.
far. Yeah. So I would drive a couple hours, but not a couple days.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
There is
excited. We're going
shipping.
to. Oh yeah, yeah, shipping. We're going to Alabama in October, and I plan on hitting all the
Quilt
quilt
shops.
stores and
Oh, that'll be fun.
Are you driving there? So you're gonna hit them on the
antique
way?
stores. We're going to drive. I have a good friend that we stop at in Texas and spend a day or two with her, and then we're going to go over and see my family over there.
Oh, that's
Well, that'll
good.
be fun.
I haven't been on a
Yeah.
road trip since I got back into quilting, but I hear so many people, they just shop hop across the country on vacations, and I'm like, oh my
Oh,
gosh, what a dream.
The
Someday.
the biggest thing you want to do though is like call them before you go to make sure that the hours are
They
correct.
still
Because
exist, yeah.
I will still get people who, even though Quilt Addicts Anonymous is listed as, you know, no in-store shopping and has been that way for years. And obviously now we don't even have a physical location. People still
Right.
show up at the old shop and then they leave me a crappy
Oh,
Google review. And it's like
It says it's
literally,
closed. Like,
well, it doesn't say it's closed.
well,
It says
because
it's
the
open
business is really not
24/7
closed.
because it's open 24/7 online, right? But people get
oh,
pissy, really
yeah.
pissy.
Well,
So
that's too bad. I wouldn't really want to meet them in the store anyway if they're that, you know.
no, if they're like that, immediately leave a bad Google review. But
Things.
That's okay. You got a good review from me.
did
Back when
I
you were open.
a long time ago
They
at the first
obviously don't
location?
understand, life happens every day, every
Life
24 hours.
happens, the economy happens,
Yeah.
is what it is.
And
The thing is, they leave a review and then they don't update the listing to be like.
Yeah, that's too much effort.
They did recently make a Google listing change that you can have your business listed as a quilt store, or you can have it listed as like you're a long arm quilting service, which is great because people aren't showing up at your house if you're like a long arm quilter.
Yeah, you don't want that. That was one thing when I was like looking through to figure out where we wanted to go for like shop hop stuff on a cruise. I was like, oh, that's not actually a thing. Like it looks like there's a ton, but it
Right.
is not. We have some more things that people are working on. Sarah is working on a quilt for a benefit auction. That's on the 26th, so she's got to wrap that up. And Jan said her grandmother had a bunch of those irons to hold doors open. We actually use them as door stops at the shop too. Um, that they were very good for that. Now they just are decorations. I've got some up
I
in
just think
my
they're the coolest things. Yeah.
cabinet upstairs. I have a lot. It's embarrassing. It's another thing that I collect and I now have enough of, and I do not need more.
Do any of yours work?
I mean, if you got it hot enough, I'm sure it might. None of them are like,
They're not old electric ones.
no, they're like the old, like you would
Old.
put it
Yeah.
over a fire and do it that way.
I'm wondering
not-
how you would hold on to that.
You have to have a hot pad
You
or
gotta have a
something.
clamper thing.
There's a hole right
It
here.
probably used to have
where
a
a
handle.
handle
It used to have a handle. It used to
Yeah.
have a handle.
You
It
think it would
probably
get
was
hot
old.
though, like a pot, you gotta sometimes still
Yeah.
grab a
Be
pot
careful.
holder.
Right.
I'm not good at chores right now. I can't imagine doing chores back then.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Oy,
I'd be a mess.
I am a mess.
My husband knows, I said the children broke me. He's like, you're very fragile. This happens often. I'm like, yeah, it does.
Yeah, and you do better, sir? No.
I told him he's off next week. And I told him, let's switch roles. I will do dinner and clean up after it every single night. You're going to run the children everywhere. And we're going to, just so you know what I'm dealing with. So, and he's like, there are people who have it worse than you. I'm like, yeah, they do. But that doesn't make my
But
experience
don't
any
live
less
with me.
difficult, you know? So I did a timer not that long ago and found out I had 32 hours a week just solo with the kids while he's at work, which is that's a full-time equivalent job. I could have benefits
Absolutely.
if I were
Yeah.
paid for my time. But
Yeah.
and we made the change purposefully, and his job is great and the insurance is fabulous and I don't regret any of it, but that still doesn't make it easy.
Right. It
No.
doesn't mean I'm going to be a cheerful parent all the time because you have insurance, babe. Great job.
Good
No.
job. It is really good
Sometimes you're
insurance.
just like, this is exhausting.
It is fantastic insurance, but
It is, yeah, you're right.
Chantel
You're
and I were
telling me
talking
these
about this earlier.
earlier. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's better than mine, and my husband's in medicine.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
was like, how am I going to pay less for this drug than you are?
Yeah,
Your husband's a doctor.
doesn't matter.
Is this like Chantel and I are on a lot of the same drugs,
We are. We're at the same point in our lives.
apparently. It's hilarious.
Yeah, you're on the I'm on that. Yeah,
Uh,
this is gonna go on. We decided we're gonna get old and senile together, and
yes, we're gonna have a memory care unit and we're gonna outfit a quilting room with all of our
Yep.
supplies. And we will still be able to remember the good old days because that's long-term memory and it'll be
Yep.
okay. It'll be fun. We'll just
it's gonna be
Well,
good.
like a lot of people talk about, getting on a cruise ship and they don't live anywhere. They just stay on the cruise all the time. And
Yes,
it's cheaper than if
I've
they
seen
rented a
that.
place. And it's cheaper than if they rented a place, right? They got all their meals cooked for them and stuff, and they get to travel all over the place. Like I'm down with that.
I just recently found out that was a thing.
Yeah.
You can just live on a cruise ship.
Yep.
that would
I
be
heard about that.
insane.
Yeah.
I
Cat is
don't
on.
think they'd have enough space for my quilting stuff.
I'm gonna
Probably
say
not.
they're not.
I'll be right back.
They're
That
not
we
gonna
went
have
on a
enough
cruise to Alaska, and that was one of the things that came up with my husband and I. And I told him we'd have to rent 2 rooms.
It's
I have
true.
to have room
Okay.
for my.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, that's a thought.
Yeah.
I couldn't be a
yeah.
minimalist in that sense.
No.
We were talking about book titles that we would for our memoirs earlier. You had a pretty good one.
Mine was 1,000,000 reasons why I can't be a minimalist. So
That's
sure
a good one. I second and third and whatever ditto on that, right?
I couldn't
Yeah.
either. I enjoy my tools. I enjoy I mean, like even in my kitchen, I have this really small, inept kitchen, but I use the crud out of it. I used to anyway. I haven't cooked in a while, but I mean, I have a canner. I have a pressure canner.
Same.
I would make vats of food and, haul them down in the basement and shove them on a shelf. I
Yep.
mean,
Well, I'm telling you,
I
I cannot even
rid of furniture.
have a minimal purse, right? How
I
could I
can't
use
either.
it in my house? I can't have a minimal purse. Like I have a huge purse because I've tried little purses and they last for maybe a
No.
week, if that, right? And it's like I
I'm the
just
queen
can't
of
do
tote
it.
bags. I
Can't.
know, I know just at a glance what's in what tote bag. That one's for that, and that one's for this, and that one, and
My
yeah,
mother-in-law
no,
travels with laundry baskets.
yeah, I do too. I,
So,
you know,
and actually, as much as I want to poke fun at her, it's a great idea.
It
Like,
is.
she comes over and visits with her laundry baskets.
well, and you can see what's in it because of all the little holes.
Yep. And they're meant to
So
be carried and
my
stacked.
bins have to be the translucent bins. I don't like the
Oh
heavy
yeah,
plastic,
me
Mine
too.
are too. I can't see everything.
I know.
All mine are that
I
way
have
too.
open shelving everywhere because it really bugs me to have to like open
And then
cabinet
open.
doors
Yeah.
and dig to the back. No, I can have it all just right there, and I know I know where that rice is. I know where that flour is, or whatever. Um, but I was binge watching probably like 10 years or less ago. I was binge watching Alaska shows. And they live in these tiny little cabins out in the middle of nowhere, but they have to have everything they need to survive and still be able to have a place to sit and sleep.
I couldn't
And
do it.
and it's because
I
they
wouldn't have the
store
place to sleep.
everything vertically. And I bought these tall, narrow, or shallow shelves, and they're like 8 feet tall. So I've got some in the living room for my books, and my TV's on there, and I got some in the kitchen for my pantry because I will
I
never have a
filled up
pantry.
too.
Yeah, and in here, I mean, downstairs, everything is it's
Oh yeah.
shallow. I get
Got
everything 12
my
to
shelves
14
back
inches
there. All,
Yep.
Exhibit A,
all
all
up.
the way up to the
Yep.
ceiling.
mustache, and
I know.
UFOs.
So I think
So
we can
my
say that
goodness.
my 1,000,000 reasons why I can't be a minimalist is probably a great book title right
I
there.
think so. I think it
Yeah.
definitely is.
Yeah.
Mine is not safe for work. So, although my sister did say that she needed to contribute a chapter, but it started with
You're
the first part
definitely
was
a part of
fine.
this book. Don't worry.
The first part was the kids broke me. The second part was not safe for work. And I wanted to like write it as like it's for the men so that even if they're supportive, my husband is so supportive, but like they can still be supportive and they can come home
Why?
and you can like totally
I'm
lose your
online.
mind because like there's no flat surface for me to put the stupid pizza on so I can cut it for the kids to eat.
right. I
And
know.
God forbid actually cooking anything because I'd have to
That's
do all the dishes first before I could do it because that's
Or
his
like when
job.
we pick through all the laundry and pick their stuff out.
Well,
Yeah.
see, that was my husband does that all the time. But my sister said her chapter was going to be everyone is clean underwear but me. And I would just was dying because that's my everyday. Every day I deal with that.
I like that. That's cute.
Everyone has clean underwear but me. It's true.
Yep. It's so true.
Thank
No,
you.
I always have clean underwear before anyone
Yep.
else. That's my.
Well, that's
I
how
don't-
my husband
Okay.
feels.
But
That's
everybody's. It's just me and my husband. So yeah, we both have clean underwear. We're good.
My husband, he does the laundry too, except every once in a while I go through and I get us caught up on absolutely everything. But
Yeah, they do
Uh,
the laundry.
but
My
They do
kids
part
do
of the
the-
steps for the laundry.
Well,
well,
my
yeah,
kids
so
wear
he
some-
doesn't do it the way I do it. And so then like my kid's stuff gets clean and his stuff gets clean. And then there was one time that I had over 20 pairs of underwear and not one clean. And I was like, this is messed up. So
At 4
Yeah,
and
I
6.
got
At
I
4
got
and
rid of
6,
that
my
chore
kids
pretty
did the
quick.
laundry. At 4 and 6, my kids did the laundry and they did
oh my
dishes.
gosh. That's
Yeah,
good.
because they were.
I-
I mean, they were old enough. They knew how to. They sort. They knew how to sort laundry.
Girls or
My
boys?
daughter was
They do
8.
that.
Yeah, they
She
just,
was 8 when she got fed up with my my laundry habits because I would just delay, and she got tall enough at 8 years old that she could push those buttons and figure it out herself, and I never had to do laundry again.
That's my
And
goal with food. My kids
my
are hungry. They're like,
organization
Mom.
style was buckets, and I had big bucket in the laundry room for socks. I did not sort socks. I
We have
refused
one
to.
of those too.
And
And
every
single and
sock went in
searching.
there. If you want a sock, you go in that bin and you find yourself some socks. And I had one
I
for
just,
underwear. I had one for socks, and I think I had one for towels. And eventually, I fold the towels and all of that, but not the socks. It's like
Not the
never.
socks. Ain't
I
nobody
only
got
get
time.
one of each.
I get
And my
annoyed.
husband does our laundry.
That's nice.
My husband does his
I
own, and I trained him on that pretty quick because he started to nitpick me pretty early on. And I'm like, yeah, if you want it done your way, you're going to have to do it yourself. And he was just so persnickety about himself that, yeah. So I never had to do it again.
I've been reading this book, All the Colors of the Dark, and this isn't anything about the plot point. But at one point, one of the older characters tells one of the younger characters who got divorced, you didn't give him time. You had to train him to be a husband. And she's like, what do you mean I had to train him to be a husband? She's like, you have none of them start out right. You have to teach them how. And I'm like, oh my God. And then
Yeah.
like one other line,
Teaching.
I sent it to Chantel. It was like he was what was it?
Something about he needed to be tended to.
He was a boy who was tended to who became I gotta look this up
It
because it was
was
so perfect. It was so perfect. And it just makes so much sense.
Well, I always
It was a good
brag
one.
on I always brag on my husband because he would always, like, anything you needed him to do, like housework or whatever, he would do it. But he did state early on, he would rather not do bathrooms and dust and vacuum. So it's
Oh
like,
yeah, that's all me too.
so but he was great. He would watch the kids and stuff. He was horrible at, like, changing a dirty diaper because he actually had to strap them to the changing table,
Oh my
go out
gosh.
into the hallway and get a couple good breaths, and he'd have to hold his breath or he'd throw up. He'd have to hold his breath. So he'd go in and get that one off, right? And then he'd go back out in the hallway and get good breath so he could go back in and clean it up and
Well,
put
and
the
you can't leave them unattended.
Well,
Oh,
he
that's
did
funny.
once they were strapped. They were
Oh
strapped to the
goodness.
changing table. They couldn't move, right?
That's funny.
But it was funny. But he was always really helpful. And I'll tell people all the time, I say, if I had it to do over, and, like, let's just say there was like a grocery store, you could just go in and there were just men all over on the shelves and they had all their characteristics and all their stuff, right? That I would make sure and get the same one, right?
Well,
So
and has been the hardest part of the last year for me is that my husband and I always have been very 50-50 in how we manage household and child stuff. And now because of the hours he works, that's just not possible. So it was just been a huge transition. But I did find that quote, and I think every woman here will understand when I read it out to you. He was the kind of boy who became the kind of man who needed tending. And I just thought that was so funny because it's like we train them to be this way. And we just can't do
I
it.
went back to school and got my degree for teaching, and while I had to travel 2 hours to the college.
Yeah.
And then I'd go home and I'd get online and I'd do my online classes. So I'd get to bed about 3 o'clock. And while I slept, he got up and did the work because I'd sleep my 8 hours
Yeah.
after I was.
It's
He
great.
was
I
really
mean,
good.
yeah, I cannot complain. He is a great dad, great partner, super supportive, just not always there because of the demands of his job. And so that has
Yeah.
been a huge transition for us and for me.
Everybody has to do their part, and it really never is, and I don't think should be like a 50-50, right? Because
No, it should
sometimes things
be
happen, and sometimes it's 70-30, sometimes it's 20-80. It just
you step
depends on
up.
what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
support each other and
Well,
make
now
sure the house gets ran and the bills are paid.
Yeah.
we're both retired now, so we share. We're 50-50. Well, maybe 70 his part and 30 my part.
You got him good. You got that
I
straight.
got so used to him doing the work.
That's
Hard
my
for me
goal.
to go back to it.
I'll have to report in on how things go next week for him if I
Yeah, I
actually
wanna
go
know.
through this. Because I remember one time, this was after I had the kids. This was about a year ago. We got another bass hound. We took home my dog's mother because she was being retired from breeding. And she was a 7-hour drive away. So I had the kids on a solo vacation for like a week, which is not really a vacation. And then I drove from Dubuque like 6 hours up to past Minneapolis and then back with 2 kids and this brand new to us dog. And then the next day, I was like, your turn. You got him for the day. And he just took him 20 minutes across town to one of the museums. And on the way back, he's like, I don't know how you did 7 hours. Yeah, I could barely do 20 minutes. And I was like, yeah, I know. It was a lot.
But sometimes, sometimes your kids, they get used to, they're more used to a routine with their mom than with their dad, right? And so it can play both ways. Like they can get bored with what mom does all the time. And then when it's dad, it's like, hey, this is all new. And, sometimes
Well, he gets to do kind of the
good,
fun
right?
stuff, I feel like. We came home and they got a new video game.
Right.
And it was like a sequel to one they already had. And so they were just having a blast and they stayed up late and,
Why do they always get to stay up late with dad? And
I
then
know I need to have
and
him
then
out
they're
the
like,
house
Mom,
first thing
fetch
in the
the
morning.
cop. Blah blah blah. You're
But
like, I just have to make sure things don't turn into some unruly like hell,
I know.
because you guys will totally do that given the opportunity.
but they had fun. I'm glad that they get to have fun with him and still get some special time with them. And
So, are you located in Minnesota?
no, I'm in Illinois.
Oh, okay.
The dog was in Minnesota.
Oh,
And so that's
She
why it
went
was a
really
7-hour
far.
drive
Yeah.
back. This
we
was
go
a
to Minnesota every few years.
This was a pandemic dog that we
Oh,
got.
I
We got a
remember
puppy.
the phone
And
call. You're like texting me about how you're on your way up there. You're like, I just potty trained Lily, and now we're going up on this vacation. And it was like, oh my goodness,
No, I potty
vacation.
trained her on the vacation. And then we drove 7 hours up and back with a dog
Dog
that
or the
also
baby? When you potty train the baby and
The
then
child.
both?
so my husband, it was like right when the business
The
was
husband.
getting challenging. So my husband had gotten a job at UPS, which he's now like a driver for. So it was great opportunity for him. But he had like literally just started, so he could not come with. So, and we had pre-planned and prepaid for all this stuff. So we're like, okay, we're just going to go do it. So I took the kids to Dubuque for a week, mostly by myself. He would come up, meet us halfway a couple times. But I mostly had the kids for a week by myself, during which time I potty trained our toddler. And then drove 7 hours at the end of the week to go get this dog in Minnesota, and then 6 hours up and 7 hours back with this dog,
Oh my
freshly
gosh.
trained, potty trained toddler, and the dog that needs to go out. And
That's
we
a
were
lot.
like trying to do everything as cheap as possible. So we're like at rest stops, like making sandwiches. And
Right.
it was just
Taking
like,
naps in the back seat.
it
Ugh.
was interesting, but it was a great memory. I wouldn't.
Sure.
You're never gonna forget it.
No, never ever.
Ever.
And I also will never get all the dog hair out of the back of my car, but that's okay.
That's true.
That dog just shed the whole way back home. I think there's still hair in there from that
It's like
trip.
anxiety shedding.
Well, she sheds real bad, like twice a year. I mean, dogs, bass hounds shed all the time, but like she really will
She has a
like
shedding.
it's wild,
Yeah.
like once a year.
My
But
dad my dad lived down in Louisiana, so we would travel down there quite a bit. Um, and this one particular trip, the kids were like um like junior high, high school, early high school age. Nobody was like driving at the time. So anyway, it was unbelievable. I won't even go into details. We had so many challenges. It was unbelievable. Mother Nature, car breaks down. I mean, just all this calamity. And by the time we finally got back to his house, everybody got dried out and a little bit of rest, repacked. We were all back in the car, to head back north. And, my dad's coming out to say goodbye. And he takes me by the shoulders and he goes, "Well, at least we know what we're capable of now."
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
I'll never forget it. I'll just never, and every time I go through like a really hard time and then I get through it, I hear that in the
You
back of my
know,
head. At
you
least
can
now
do
I know
it.
what I'm capable of, you know? So, yeah,
That's
we
sweet.
we survived
You
unbelievable
did.
stuff.
You made it.
So,
Sorry, I hopped off the video. I had to get up and
No, you're
stretch
fine.
and move around and
I'm attempting
wiggle.
to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing here.
I'm trying to avoid looking at my clock. I'm starting to get sleepy, and I know I have to get up
Oh,
super
me
early in the
too.
morning. These
Same. I have
last
to get
few
the kids
Saturdays
out
have
of my
just
house
been
early.
really, yeah, early morning Saturdays
Maybe we
late.
should call it early tonight. It's not super
Should we?
early.
Oh,
It's
you
not.
guys don't have to call it early on my account. I'm
No,
Oh,
just
no,
it
no,
gonna,
no,
is
no. We're
fine.
all tired too. I'm up and wiggling,
Yeah.
trying to like get myself
I was
up,
up till
but
like 2 a.m. working on stuff last night too, so I'm tired. And I have to be out of the house by 8 in the morning. So we can
I,
absolutely call it a night if we want.
yeah,
yeah.
I got to be
I
up
was
by
supposed to go
7.
to sleep. I was supposed to go to sleep, and I kept thinking, "Oh no, can't get up." And I thought, "Oh well, I'll get up and stuff."
It's all good. Sometimes we need to sew in the middle of the night when
ah,
we can't sleep.
I sew in the middle of the night all the time.
Yes,
It's
same.
like
Spent
3 in the morning.
7 years as an insomniac, and I'm sleeping now. For about a year now, I've been sleeping ritually. So when I go to bed, I can pretty much count on sleeping. Uh,
Nice.
but for a lot of years, yeah, there wasn't a doctor on the planet who could help me sleep. There wasn't even a med. I mean, they tried me on everything. So I'm grateful to even
Yeah.
have the going to sleep. It's
My body
much,
That's
thinks
good.
that 3 a.m. is a great time to like live it up, you know?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, it's not time to live it up. It's time to live it down on my pillow, but it doesn't listen. So
That's unfortunate.
that's okay. I get up and I quilt. Some of my best work is done at 3 in the morning.
I
I
have
used to.
designed some of my best quilts at 3 in the morning, so I understand that.
Well,
There you
maybe
go.
next
Maybe
time
I
I
should.
show up, I'll share with you some of my natural remedies and
Yeah,
techniques that
I'd
have
love to know
actually
some of those.
started
Actually,
working.
now's the time
Yeah.
to tell us about them as we're all like, how do you get good sleep? We're all tired. We know we're not going to
Well,
sleep well.
I get
I'll
myself
share one
completely
really
exhausted.
super.
That's what I do.
I'll share one really super quick. It's called um, full spectrum light therapy.
Uh-huh.
And I started off with just having the light bulbs and my regular lamps. And I had one like kind of over my head where I would like sit and read,
Uh-huh.
especially early in the day. But it never really worked. But what did work, I saw there was some kind of podcast by some medical doctor, sleep therapist. He had the
Mm-hmm.
miracle, whatever. So you get the full spectrum lamp, or if you actually have a view of the sun as it comes over the horizon,
Mm-hmm.
you get it in your retina. It's not about having the
It's got to be
full
into your
spectrum on
eyes.
your skin. It's in your eyes. And after about 2 or 3 weeks of doing this,
For
all of
how
a
long?
sudden, It's been 2 years now, almost 2 years, about a year. It's been more than a year and a half that I've
Wow.
actually, and I've gotten lazy about it. Especially after that first couple of weeks where I was actually sleeping,
Mhm.
I just got super, super, super regular with it. And I've lacked off here and there. And I can notice that my sleep gets a little bit shorter intervals or maybe a little interrupted once in a while. But for the most part, I can count on some solid regular sleep between, at least 11:30 midnight till at least 4:30 or 5 in the morning. I'm sleeping
Nice.
solid. And then there are times where I am actually able to go back to sleep. And that was like a never thing. I could never do that.
Never gonna
So anyway,
happen. Yeah.
and I have a lamp, um, a therapy lamp, and it's sitting in a place where I know it'll hit my retinas while I don't know, just waking up in the morning, grabbing my water, doing a little ironing or whatever. And so that's one thing. And
Wow.
I swear by it. I swear by it because I went 7 years, literally 7 years,
Oh my
without sleep.
gosh.
And
Oh.
yeah, I was a little crazy. But
I think I would be too.
so
Well,
but
my
there's
husband
breathing
does 15
exercise.
minutes of yoga stretching every night and then every morning, but he
I
will
could
lay
kill
down.
myself on yoga. I could
He
kill I'm
It was
Yeah,
just stretching, just stretching for those 15 minutes. They were specific exercises, and
yeah,
he can lay his head down on the pillow in 2 minutes. He's just out, like
yeah.
totally out.
Well, you
He's a
know the
blessed
phrase sleep
man.
like a baby? I'm like, I don't want to sleep like a baby. I want to sleep like a husband.
I know, right? Because babes are up every hour and a half, right?
Right? You think the baby slept great because you're a husband. You slept all night.
I know,
Yeah.
right? I
My
know.
babies slept all night after 2 weeks, both of them.
Yeah.
Well, they slept like a husband.
It's not what they slept like the husband. They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband can sleep no matter what. No matter what, he sleeps. And yeah,
They
but
just don't
that's okay.
have, they just don't worry the same way or something. I don't know. My brain decides that it's a really great time to decide my life plans, you know, to contemplate growing a garden, to contemplate anything. Anything is game,
Yeah.
in the middle of the night.
Mhm.
Unfinished conversations.
Yeah,
Oh man.
or
I have
conversations. I should have said something different there, but I didn't.
I know.
Those
Yep.
middle of the night.
We've all
Yep.
been
Yes.
there.
I got really great comebacks for conversations that are never happening ever again.
I even started writing some of those down. If I ever
That's
had the
funny.
chance, I was gonna do it
This is what's coming out next time.
because
Yeah.
that was a suggestion, journaling. So it's like, all
Yeah.
right, well,
Oh,
I'm
I've
gonna
done it all
journal
too.
everything that twists up in my head. I'm gonna journal. So anyway, but it didn't help me sleep.
It didn't work.
No,
Oh well.
but I got a lot off my chest,
Right?
um, on paper. But anyway,
That is very helpful. There's definitely something to be said for that. I've kind of gotten
all
back
right.
into it lately,
I think
Well,
but
I'm
good
good,
night,
guys.
y'all.
yes,
I'm
we
gonna
don't need to
go,
do another tangent. All right,
and I'll
thank you,
see
ladies, for
you.
joining.
Oh, we'll see you next week.
All right, remember, bring your show and tell and bring your one quilting object that you can't live without, and you get 5 minutes
Oh,
to talk
Oh,
about it.
so hard.
Bye, y'all. Good night.
All right.